So we're back with a new video. This sounds so like we're back with a new video.
We're back. It's been a while, but we're
yeah,
back.
It's been a while, but we watched Star Wars: The Last Jedi on Thursday.
And today for the second time.
And we watched it today for the second time. Our initial reaction of the movie, we basically walked out pretty much shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't shocked, I'm going to say, in a bad way.
Oh, at all.
But we were shocked. A lot of things happened that we were like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is really happening.
The movie is really twists and turns. You don't see a lot of things coming. A lot of things.
Everything that you expected to happen did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single thing. So what I'm going to do is that this video is going to be about The Last Jedi, but it's not going to have any spoilers. We're not going to be spoiling anything at all. We're going to give our opinion on the movie, and I'm going to be reading comments that I have on my Instagram so that I can answer, and also so that I can share your opinion on here as well. And I'll be answering whatever I have on here, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Some of you guys'
but it's not
questions
going to be Last Jedi related.
Mm-hmm. So it's a Last Jedi spoiler-free review commentary, I guess, on just
free
all
of spoilers.
But also just commentary on all the vibe and all the negativity and everything that's been coming along with this movie.
Because Ryan has gotten slammed.
A lot, yeah.
And I have seen people on Twitter who have burned Last Jedi shirts.
Which, by the way, you guys all paid for those shirts and then decided to burn them, so...
So, yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Sure, you really hurt Disney.
Also, the Star Wars, this is so hard to say. Star Wars world. There we go.
The world of Star Wars.
The world of Star Wars is divided right now.
It is very divided,
hardcore.
Yeah.
So, to begin this non-spoiler review, let's ask Mr. Laz here what he thought about the movie.
I loved it. I mean, when we first saw it that first time, yeah, I mean, we were at the edge of our seats. I saw, everybody that went with us, like, you'd see us jumping up, and you literally were. You were at the edge of your seats most of the time. Everything was a surprise. Almost every other scene was something you totally didn't see coming. And we avoided every spoiler we possibly could before there. But, you still found out little things and little rumors and little speculations more than anything. And they were all wrong, people. Pretty much every single one was wrong. I mean, people called a couple of little things out of just... I guess you guess enough, you're bound to get something right. But overall, pretty much every spoiler was wrong. And I loved it. I loved it. I still said, and we talked about it today, about going to see it again before doing this, just to... Because we heard all this negativity. We're like, okay, let's get a second view in us and see if maybe we saw something. We went into wanting it to be great, and we thought it was great. But no, it was freaking great, guys. And I don't understand all the negativity with this movie. It's not what people expected, and that's, I think, what hurts people. What's got people so upset.
I believe so. I believe that people have gotten this idea of what Star Wars was, and they're stuck in this 1977 vibe that when the story was changed, because we're in a new time, a new era, it's new Star Wars, things have to change, have to evolve, and
they have to.
People don't accept it. People are having a very hard time seeing this as a Star Wars movie. Some people don't call it a Star Wars movie. As a matter of fact, the people that don't like it are calling the people that like it not real Star Wars fan. And that's pure stupidity. Just because you didn't like the movie doesn't mean that other people are not going to like the movie. You cannot say, oh, you know what, because I don't like the movie, you can't like the movie.
Yeah.
Because we are all individual people with our own likes and dislikes. And there are those who really loved it. I'm one of those people who did. I mean, yeah, it had its little things here and there that I was like, okay, this was not necessary.
And every movie does.
But there is no such thing as a perfect movie. There's no such thing as a perfect Star Wars movie.
And even that, a lot of those things, even that after hearing some of the negative comments and some of the complaints that people had and stuff, like certain scenes, again, we don't want to go into too many details, but certain scenes that you could consider maybe throwaway scenes to a certain extent, we even said, we're like, yeah, these scenes maybe were a little throwaway, but after seeing it for a second time, maybe they're still slightly throwaway, but they're still there for a point.
Yeah.
If you really pay attention, even the biggest throwaway scenes had something. later on in the story or something like that, it goes back to that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why they had to do that, because it lays out a foundation for things to come later. So I think everything did have a point. The littlest things had a point. I'm dying for, hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll do a spoiler review, and because I'd love to get more into the details and say, this is why this and this is why that.
This is why that. Yeah.
But so it's kind of hard to not, to really defend the movie and not talk too much about it. But
I was completely blown away with the cinematography of the film.
That you can't take away from it. It was
beautifully
shot movie. Beautifully
visual,
shot movie.
The whole movie was beautiful. Like, all the visuals were amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even think the porgs were overused.
Not at all.
I think it had its funny moments.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that it was pushy.
No.
Some people say that it was. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was.
Personally, I think it had its moments.
No. They had their little moments. They were there for
Star Wars has always had some type of humor.
Mm-hmm. Everybody hated Jar Jar. Everybody hated the Ewoks when they first came out.
And it was very sarcastic humor, I'm going to say, in Star Wars. This wasn't as sarcastic, but it still had its humor, its moments where you were like, oh, damn, and you would laugh. But it also had its moments where you were like, what?
Yeah.
The fuck? Like, I was not expecting this at all. You also have a moment of possibly certain things you would not expect to see in the movie, and all of a sudden it's there, and it gives you all types of feels. It had so many moments where it touched you right in your heart, and it just cringed it for a minute. That you were like, oh my god. And it takes you back into that 1977 Star Wars vibe, honestly.
No, yeah, it definitely had things there. It had its little throwbacks. It had things for the old school fans, and I'm an old school fan. I saw Jedi in the theater as a kid. So I'm a big fan of the originals, and I'm not a huge fan of the prequels. But I'm still consider myself a huge Star Wars fan. There are things you're gonna like, and there are things that you're not gonna like. But you have to appreciate it. And I think I've told her this analogy before. To me, it's like pizza. It's bad pizza or good pizza, still pizza.
And you're still gonna eat the pizza.
And Star Wars. If you love Star Wars, why would you not want more Star Wars? You're bound to get some stuff you don't like. Yeah, it's gonna happen. But would you rather the only Star Wars that existed ever were those 3 original movies, and we never got anything else again? I mean, even back in those days, people forget that Lucas made the Christmas special, which was god awful, and people hate to this day. Disney never touched that. That wasn't Ryan or J.J. Abrams. That was all Lucas. That was all,
It was also mentioned to me today on one of my DMs on my Instagram on, I want a rated R Star Wars movie.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Okay. There has never been a rated R Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Ever. Even before Disney owned Star Wars, there's never been a rated R Star Wars movie. Star Wars is basically for a general audience. It was basically focusing on kids.
Yeah, and if you listen to Lucas, it was a kids movie.
It was a kids movie.
They were movies for kids.
And now you have adults demanding a rated R movie, and then they call it, because Disney owns it, so this is cheesy. Disney owns it, this is lame. No.
These are still movies for the masses, and the masses are kids,
It's a family-oriented movie. There are even little things here and there throughout the film that appeals to children, because it's still for children.
It's supposed to.
I mean, BB-8, I'm going to say BB-8 is probably one of the characters that most appeals to children, and you understand why. There are certain things throughout the movie where you're like, oh man, he's...
But at the same time, they're not even Ewoks. And I like the Ewoks, but I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example because that was probably the first thing that Lucas did back in the days that was very marketable just to kids. So it wasn't even overused to that extent.
It wasn't overused.
Or even made that kiddie, because even the stuff for kids is still enjoyable to adults. It's not kiddie down or dumbed down to that level either. But you still have to have the cuteness factor in there for kids, and at the end of the day, they're still a company. They got to sell toys and they got to sell merchandise, and they're gonna make cute stuff that people want to buy.
I mean, that's the way it works with everything.
Yeah, that's how they make the money to keep making these things. So I'm not gonna.
I personally, really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it even more the second time. Things make more sense, and you catch on to different things that you did not catch on at first because you were so shocked and surprised with what was going on that you don't really catch on to certain things.
Yeah, slight little things. Yeah, I wish we could talk about. Yeah, very slight.
I honestly did like the movie. I like the direction that Rian Johnson's taking the movie. This is new Star Wars. It's a new generation. It has nothing to do with the Star Wars that we are used to. This is a whole different take on Star Wars. It's a whole different take on the Force to begin with.
And it's still there. I mean, the core of those movies is still
still there.
At the heart and everything. But it's an evolution, like everything else. I mean, we talked about that earlier, and it's like Star Wars is going to be here way after most of us are gone. You know, and 50 years, 100 years from now, they're still making, whether it's episodics or standalone or just Star Wars, whatever, which they probably will, as long as they make money. Why wouldn't they?
Yep.
It can't revolve around the Skywalker family forever.
It can't.
You know, I mean,
Luke is getting old. Mark Hamill, is getting old. He can't be Luke Skywalker forever. Everyone has a transition,
and these companies have to think ahead to these things. And
exactly.
It's not about we just need to kill off characters just because of whatever. But you need to evolve these characters where you can use them in different ways in the future, and hopefully these people will be around for a long time. But look, unfortunately, Carrie's had a huge part in the third movie, and unfortunately we lost her last year. And that threw everything for a curve. They killed off Harrison Ford in the last movie, and he might outlive everybody. So, the studios don't know what's going on either. So, I mean...
This guy's head is terrible.
they got to think ahead to all these things. Plus, it's just an evolution of... It's got to change. It's got to grow with the times.
And me personally speaking, there was dark moments in the film. There was moments of darkness. There was moments of... There was certain battles where you were like, damn.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the darkest, I think, Star Wars movie that I've ever seen.
I had someone tell me that it was.
Rogue One was pretty dark in the sense that, and there's a spoiler by now, but everybody dies. But so it's not that either.
And The Force Awakens. Someone told me yesterday. Oh, The Force Awakens was a darker film than The Last Jedi. The Force Awakens had nothing dark.
No, I don't think so.
There was nothing dark about The Force Awakens. Nothing. The darkest film was definitely this one. When it comes to like episodes.
Tonality-wise, because like I said, Rogue One I'll give you just because it had so much death. But I mean, the tone of this movie was very dark. And and the arc that some of these characters go through in this movie, it's very dark. So
I enjoyed it. I cried. I laughed. I was shocked. I said, what the fuck, a million times. It was a roller coaster of emotions. And from very beginning to the very end, it keeps you immersed into the actual film. It keeps you there. You don't really wander off to be like, someone text me. It's like you are so into the film that you don't pay attention to absolutely anything else.
And for a 2.5-hour film, it doesn't feel like a 2.5 hour film.
It doesn't feel like it. So, with that said, I know a lot of people also liked it like we did.
Oh, yeah.
And,
it's also made a shitload of money in just 2 days, people. So, obviously, people are liking it.
Yes. And at the end of the day...
And not just on single views. Tons of people are going to see it multiple times. So,
at the end of the day, we're all Star Wars fans. All of us love Star Wars for one reason or another. And nobody loves Star Wars for the same reason that I love it, or the same reason that he might love it, or whomever might love it. Everybody loves Star Wars because it has something that identifies them to those films. You get what I'm saying? So, just because this movie was not appealing to you, it doesn't make anyone less of a Star Wars fan. Because we found something in it that we liked. There's something that made us like it, and if you didn't like it, you don't have to basically bash people because their opinion is different than yours. So, at the end of the day, we're all Star Wars fans, and it's going to continue to be that way. And we cannot treat other people with disrespect just because our opinion differs from others. That's not what Star Wars is about to begin with. So,
And everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you can say this was a bad movie. You can say you dislike this movie. That's fine. Like I said a couple minutes ago, I'm not a big fan of the prequels, and a lot of people love the prequels.
I mean, I'm not a prequel hater. I like the prequels,
but
I don't love them.
But it doesn't mean that like, oh, I'm gonna say you're not. I wish they would have never made them, or I wish like whatever. It's why not? There's still certain things that you could appreciate even for that. I can still even appreciate from those movies. The things that came from those movies, that had those movies not been made, we wouldn't be where we are today. We maybe wouldn't have had, the Clone Wars. We wouldn't have Rebels. We wouldn't have a lot of other good things that came.
Makes you appreciate the prequels.
Yeah.
Better. So, at the end, we're all Star Wars fans. Just people have to learn to respect others instead of bashing them because they enjoyed something that they didn't. I mean, I think the biggest problem here is that the majority of us don't like it. Has to do with the reason that they had this vision in their mind and these theories in their mind that when they actually watched the film, it was not what they thought. And that completely screwed with them, and they came out hating the movie.
But the sad thing is, these are the same people that would have complained, or that did complain with the last movie, because, it was a copy of The New Hope. Had this been a straight copy, which I don't think The Force Awakens was a copy of The New Hope anyway, but saying that, had this been more of a copy of Empire, people would have been complaining, it's too much like Empire.
I mean,
but now they're complaining it's not enough like Empire.
It had its moments that it had similarity.
And it has to.
Not even to Empire, to Return of the Jedi. When it's like, it had similarities to Return of the Jedi, not even Empire. It had its moments where you would see kind of mirroring in a way, but the story has nothing to do
at all
with anything we've ever seen in Star Wars to begin with.
But my point is just that you're not going to make people happy. Had it been more like Empire, people would have complained, he was a lazy writer and he just copied Empire. On the other hand, people are calling him a lazy writer because he made something totally different. So it's
he actually had the balls to change.
You're not going to win
the direction of Star Wars and make it something new. And I have no problem with that. No. I'm actually excited to know what's going to be happening in Episode 9 because the way this film went, it gives you no direction whatsoever, no theories, no nothing you can possibly come up with for the next episode. And there is nothing more exciting to me than that. Than not knowing at all what in the world is going to really happen in Episode 9. So, thumbs up to Rian Johnson. You're the man.
Yeah, I can say I haven't sat in a movie in a long time where I was like just taken aback, and just things that you didn't see coming. That it's so many surprises, so many good surprises.
Yeah, it was so many good surprises
that you were like, because you always go in, think, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Especially these kind of movies are usually very formula driven, and this was not. They really let this man go out of the box and do something, I think very special and very beautiful film.
It was a beautiful film.
And like I said in one of my rants on Instagram, I think
Crate is so beautiful.
Star Wars is in very good hands. It's in very good hands.
Yes, it's in very good hands. And keep in mind, guys, Rian is in charge of a trilogy. Mm-hmm. So if you guys did not like this movie...
Abrams is getting the reins for the next one, although Rian is still staying on as probably executive producer or an assistant writer or a co-writer or something. His vision is still going to be in that third film. And even before this movie was seen by an audience, Disney had, the I don't know what I'm losing my word here, but like that they believed in him so much to give him the next trilogy and basically do what he wants.
It wasn't even Disney; it was Lucasfilm.
Oh, Lucasfilm, yeah.
Because Disney really just supplies the money. Lucasfilm is the one that does all the changes.
They had enough confidence. That's what I was trying to say. They had enough confidence in this man just from them seeing the movie before even an audience saw the movie to say, here's pretty much the reins to Star Wars in the future.
Basically,
and that's crazy.
So big thumbs up to Rian Johnson. I'm pretty sure that this video is going to get a bunch of hate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of people who are butthurt right now.
Bring it on.
But big thumbs up to you, Rian Johnson. I love the movie. He loved the movie.
Yep. Very much so. Very
and
happy.
Almost everybody that I know loved the movie. Mm-hmm. And despite of the little things here and there that we caught, that were like, this wasn't necessary.
Well,
the overall film was entertaining.
You can go back to the originals, the holy trilogy of freaking sci-fi, and find a shit real things wrong with those movies. And
one more thing. You have to keep in mind this. Because this has been, mentioned in Rebels. It's in books. There's no real purity in Jedi. There isn't. Yep. Keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. at the end of the day, you're a human being, and you are not pure of darkness inside you. Everyone has it.
It's not all black and white.
Yes, everyone has
all
it.
Good and bad.
There's weakness in people, and sometimes it leads you to do things, but sometimes you react on it and you don't do them. Yeah. So
it's how you react to those things. Yeah.
So yeah, keep that in mind. So I'm going to start now reading the comments that I have on here, on my post that I posted 9 hours ago on my Instagram. So I'm going to start with _JV1210. He said, this movie gave me lots of feels. Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It gave you lots of feels from like beginning to end.
Yep.
And there were moments that connected you to like A New Hope. And you were like, oh my God, my heart.
Yes. That just hit me. I know what scene you're talking about. And
yes.
Yeah, it's like if you don't tear up, man, you don't, I don't know, you don't have emotions.
Yes. Yes. So let's see. Paul Simpson 3113 says Luke was awesome though. Love seeing Mark back in action. Yeah, Luke was definitely amazing. I think this has been his best performance that I've seen. Because in the original trilogy, I don't think his acting was so great. I mean, but here, you felt
he outdid himself in this movie.
You felt every emotion through his
acting, yeah.
Through his acting, through his vibe, through his feelings. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was. He was really good in this movie.
He was phenomenal. Let's see. El Capitan says, I feel like it needed a little more darkness to it, but I enjoyed it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it had.
I think it had its good amount of darkness.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't think how much more darker than what happened.
Yeah.
Can be dark. Let's see here. Fear Steve answered to Paul Casolas because he said, "Did you feel the questions we were left from TFA were tackled or not?" I didn't. So Paul Casola 76 said, "Did you feel the questions we were left with from TFA were tackled or not?" The majority were.
I think some were, but like anything, it's gonna answer some questions and open up and bring up new ones. Yeah, bring up new ones.
I think the majority was kind of answered.
Oh yeah, at least some of the major ones were answered.
And a lot of the things that people would always ask me about Rey's origins, I always said the same answer, and I was right. That's all I'm gonna say. I was right.
I guess you can go back and find a spoiler.
Fear Steve said, "Same as you, unless I missed it. Where did Snoke originate from?" I think we will get a background to Snoke maybe through books.
Yeah. We don't want to go too much into Snoke.
Yeah, we don't want to go too much into Snoke.
That's a lot of spoilers, but yeah, I think we're definitely going to still find out more backstory on him.
Definitely, there's going to be...
Especially with what they're doing now, whether it may not be in a film, but it could be in a comic, a book, a game, but we're going to get some backstory on that guy.
Embracement said epic. I loved it and going again tomorrow. Awesome, because we are going again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're actually going again tomorrow too, yeah.
Detective Knight said, I love Luke in this movie. So did I. Yeah. I loved Luke. I really did.
Yeah, Luke was really good.
Yeah, I mean, he made me probably cry several times.
Yeah, some of his interactions.
Yes, he made me really feel it in my damn deepness of my heart.
And this is not a spoiler, but because you saw it, but just seeing him in the Falcon again and interacting with Chewie and
So here we have this disguised 84. For the first time ever, I don't know what the next episode will bring. And that's an awesome thing. Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker were amazing. Yep. Yes, I have to say, Kylo Ren is epic.
Adam Driver's another one that, blew it out of the park.
He was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
He is definitely not the tantrum throwing whiny little bitch as he was called at times for the first movie.
He wasn't as whiny.
No.
He's
got his moments of tantrum, yeah. He's got his moments, but no.
Where he loses his anger takes over.
He's a bit of a badass in this movie, guys.
But yes,
he's a bit of a badass. Yeah.
We have Infect Art say the prequels are laughing at us right now. LOL. Every movie just makes the prequels shine better, harder. And then Kevin Rodriguez told him, honestly,
I don't even know what to say. I don't know how much you could shine a turd, but okay.
The prequels were not that bad.
I know. I'm exaggerating just for that comment, but to compare. I mean, that's basically saying like that that the prequels were the best
Stephen
movies.
J.
Oh.
Padovano says, "What were your thoughts about the end?"
Unfortunately, we can't go into that in this, but I mean, to me, I think if you're talking the real end, it showed hope for the future.
Hope for the future. There was nostalgia.
You know, yeah, there was definitely some nostalgia.
Nostalgia and this question of what now?
Yeah, what happens next, almost, you know?
And also, like, what the fuck? That was...
Yeah, because again, I don't want to give away much.
That was really like, what the fuck?
This for being a middle film of a trilogy wasn't where it just like set up things and like a lot of things are going to be answered in the next movie. No, they wrapped a lot of things up in this in the middle movie, where it's like almost you're starting anew on a lot of things on the third movie. It was very interesting the way it was done.
So we have Swole Nerd say, "I'm giving everyone a week. If you haven't seen it by then, I don't know what to tell you." Yeah. I mean, if you love Star Wars, I wouldn't wait a week to watch the movie.
I don't know how you're going to avoid a spoiler, and this is a movie you don't want spoiled.
You don't want it spoiled.
You don't want it spoiled.
Yeah, this movie, you have to avoid as many spoilers as possible.
Yeah, because it's not like one little spoil.
It's a lot.
There's a lot to spoil in this movie.
Mather 3557, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Awesome film. Yes, we agree. It was an awesome film. Fugazi 32 says, "Awesome movie. It'll eventually be loved and become fan favorite in years to come."
All right, find some negative ones on there.
Oh, there's going to be negative ones. There's negative ones. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that eventually, once we get episode 9, people will probably find episode 8 more appreciating. Yeah, it could be very possible because right now people are just so like angry.
Yeah, like I said, it's there are things that were so different and stuff that I think people are like, well, where are they going to go from here?
Okay, so I have here. Okay, so hello, I'm Joe Fawn. Is a version 2.0 of The Empire Strikes Back, or is it totally different? It is definitely totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It is nothing really to do with Empire. It has some moments, I'm gonna say, where you remember A New Hope, and then it has some mirroring to some things in Empire, and then it has some mirroring to
there's a huge battle on an icy looking planet. That's about as close as I would put it, you know.
Yeah,
if you want to say.
And it has some similarities.
That and to me, it's my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah, just like Empire was.
Empire is my
so that to me is my comparison to Empire. It's just as good as freaking Empire to me.
Let's see. West Magno 24. It's its own movie. The problem is people are impatient and they want to feel entitled to answers right away. I thought this movie was amazing, so people fail to realize that there will be a third movie. This one felt more open to interpretation. Absolutely, it's open to interpretation, and it opens the doors to a whole different other world to Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
100%. Cooper 1724 says he loved the film. Enough said. I agree. Cowboy Bruce Wayne, this movie is badass. At the theater right now, watching it a second time. We did that earlier. RG Pit OJR said, great movie. Can't wait to see where they take it from here. So here I saw it. Was it Zach Sales 89 says, I saw it last night and loved the movie. It was entertaining and awesome in my opinion. I feel people need to learn to just sit back and watch the movie without having a premeditated expectation and being too analytical. Enjoy the movie for what it is, which in my opinion was awesome. So Jake Anthony Art said, without spoiling it, I can say I didn't like Rian Johnson's version of Luke.
I don't know. I did. I did, and I'll say I did because I think it's the progression of Luke, especially with what we know already that it happened with Ben and everything.
You need to go back to Return of the Jedi and analyze Luke's moments during the last half hour of Return of the Jedi. That's what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. I actually liked the direction that Ryan took Luke to.
It makes sense. it makes sense with what he's been through and how and everything, who he became. Yeah.
Mickey Flint says, I feel that if I gave my opinion, I would just piss you off. The idea stated above is laughable. I won't enjoy a poorly made movie even if it's what it is. If is what it quotation what it is. Luckily, The Last Jedi is not a poorly made movie. It's just not told. It's just not a well told one.
So everyone has an opinion, man.
Which is fine.
You shouldn't.
I mean,
No,
if
shouldn't.
you didn't like something,
have your
it's okay to not like
have
it.
your own opinion and stand by your conviction.
Everybody has their own opinion. You know, we have ours, and we cannot bash anyone because they didn't like something that we liked. You know, it's...
My whole thing was is that you're allowed to have your opinion. Just, I think when you go to that extreme, like, oh, they should never make these movies because it was horrible. Well, why? Because there's a shitload of people that are enjoying these movies.
Yes, and
you know, if you don't like them, don't fucking watch them. You know, but buy the original 3 and sit down and watch them every day and night for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You don't need to see any other Star Wars. No other Star Wars has to exist in your mind. But there's a lot of other people enjoying this stuff, so keep making it.
Yeah, I mean, like Lucasfilm, keep doing it.
Shit.
Keep making all you want to make. The Real Deal, Joseph Field says the movie was amazing. Le Chick Geek says she can't wait to see it. I have here Weifu Lafu 215. People were living highly expectations how the movie was made, like eye appealing. And also with their own theories and following an agenda, people were just having highly expectations, which everyone has their own right to have their own right to their own opinions. Mm-hmm. People need to learn how to respect your opinion and vice versa. Like act grown up, you know, have similar. He goes, also having similar Star Wars movies that look alike is kind of Still love them though. Other than that, I went in the movie with an open mind, and I personally was impressed. Yes, the movie was impressive.
It was impressive.
And that's one thing that I can say is that I sat there and I was impressed the whole time because so many things happened that I never thought would happen in this movie. I was like, what? What?
Like I said, to me, that's one of the most enjoyable things you can go into a movie. Like, just be surprised.
That is something that's going to stay with you forever because it shocked you and it made you be like, it's a movie that kind of shook you.
Yeah.
From things that you were used to and gave you something new where you actually felt like
things you just did not see coming, like just.
So here I have Oaktown E. Every question or opinion I have would be a spoiler. How the hell can I word it in any other way?
It's freaking hard.
He said, I loved everything about the movie except the casting of Laura Dern.
I didn't mind Laura Dern.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, yeah, me neither. But at first I was like,
That's one of those scenes that we'll talk about more, like when we can do a spoiler one. But yeah, there are definitely things like, why'd you do that? But
so Cottonmouth says that all he knows is that I'm not gonna say the whole thing because it's kind of, but he did say, I will only support Star Wars films from my generation. By all means, then support the films from your generation, and don't bother watching the new ones if you're going to be that affected by it, and you're...
Buy yourself a Betamax and sit at home on your old TV and enjoy life, man, because there's a lot of new shit coming out all the time. It's phenomenal.
A lot of Star Wars.
You're only going to enjoy things from your generation.
Warren Sith says, movie was epic. Besides the fact that Carrie Fisher's gone, as character is the most emotional film yet to you. It's between Sith and The Last Jedi to me. Well, I don't technically think it's Sith, even though... I don't think I want to call Kylo Ren a Sith. But it was definitely a movie about the Force and which side of the Force you're on.
But then almost, which isn't new because it's kind of always been there, but that almost new interpretation.
Then Cottonmouth says this generation can't go without that damn CGI. Well, Cottonmouth, for your info, Yoda was a puppet. Yoda was not a CGI.
And you could actually go online, and there are several videos on YouTube showing you how much practical effects were used in this movie.
Yes.
A lot of practical effects.
A lot of practical effects.
Yeah.
Ryan tried to keep it as, I guess,
and
as old school as possible with using old school type
and it's not only that. To think that there's not going to be CGI in a movie nowadays, especially a movie that's sci-fi, like they're not going to do oil paintings for backgrounds anymore, guys. Not. That's ridiculous to believe that that's going to happen.
I mean, Yoda was a puppet. Yoda wasn't a CGI. Yoda was a puppet.
Yeah, Yoda was actually a puppet.
Like, For
Which
example,
was something I actually brought up to her after we saw it. I was like, because when I first saw Yoda, I was like, he threw me a little because I was like, he looks a little off, And I was like, wait a minute, he's a freaking puppet. I was like, that's awesome.
He's a puppet. So for your
and Frank Oz back puppeting too.
And Cottonmouth 74. So basically, CGI is going to be in every film.
CGI.
But Ryan did not focus fully on the CGI.
But it wasn't the prequels. Okay,
yes, it wasn't the prequels.
Which was 99% CGI.
Exactly. Mike Benson says, did you tear up at the end? Yes.
Did you what?
Did you tear up at the end?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And like the middle and
throughout the film.
And several parts.
But the end left you with this nostalgic
for many reasons,
feeling, and you were like, shit. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Diego said that movie triggered me hard. Jeff Motionless says the movie was a disaster in so many levels.
Damn.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Jeff Motionless, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's really what I can say. The first one says, why did it make the dark side look so weak in this movie? Honestly, I feel the best movie that Disney has done since taking over was Rogue One. I don't really care about the small jokes throughout the film, but I feel like this to be what Disney is planning on doing with Star Wars now, downplaying the dark side and glorifying the Jedi. How is that balanced? Okay, first of all, this is not Disney. This is Lucasfilm. Not Disney. People need to separate the idea that Disney is Star Wars. Disney owns Star Wars. Lucasfilm is still Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy is Lucasfilm. She's not Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one, she's like the head honcho in all of this. She's the one that's running this. It's not Disney. Disney basically just there to be like, to give the okay. Okay, you know what? We like the movie. Keep on going. Whatever. And
they have a say to a certain point, but not to the point of like
the writing, the directing,
directing.
They're not getting into
Lucas.
that. It's on Lucasfilm.
Which is.
If Lucasfilm was not involved and it was a Disney movie, you would have the Disney logo on it. And the opening scene is Lucasfilm.
Yep.
So, with that said, people have to stop saying that this is a Disney movie. Because, Disney owns them. But it's still Lucasfilm who is running everything.
Or, again, that Disney is, whether it is or it's not, Disney is kidding up these movies. These were kids' movies from the beginning, guys. And if they were still in the hands of freaking George Lucas, they'd be like cartoons characters by now.
They would.
Because I mean, look at the progression of the last stuff that he did, and I don't mean to keep bashing the prequels, but that's George Lucas. He directed and he had his hand all over those movies, and 99% of fans agree those are not the best freaking Star Wars movies, whether you like them or not.
And don't keep in mind that right now there is no balance. Everything is not balanced, and there is no Jedi Order. There is no Sith. There is really nothing right now but the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank. Free Steve said, agree, out of 3 so far, Rogue One was my favorite. I enjoyed Jedi, but didn't like the jokes, and should have been darker in my opinion. How much darker can we get? Like, what is the darkness that you guys are looking for? A rated R film, that's not going to happen. It's never been a thing for Star Wars.
Unless you just walked into Star Wars with the last movie, with The Force Awakens, and you've never seen anything else. You should understand these were kids' movies, and if you go back to even the originals, they were lighthearted. They had little jokes in them. They had kiddie things in them. They were kids' movies. They were never these serious, dark freaking movies. So I mean, the progression has already gotten where it's much, much darker. This movie was pretty damn dark.
Yep. It was pretty. I'm gonna say it was pretty damn dark.
I would not doubt that one of their original cuts might have been an R rating.
Mm-hmm.
Because
very likely
because it had its dark moments. But yeah, R is not gonna happen, guys. It's not gonna happen in a Star Wars movie.
Ho R. Justin says some of the comedy and story were so, but I was very entertained, and some scenes are mind blowing. I agree.
Huh?
Some of the scenes were definitely mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Chef Verhelst says, I would rate the film an 8 out of 10. It had great sense of humor. However, the ending was good, but the storyline had a lot of nonsense going on, just killing time. The dark side looked very mediocre. It did not feel dark enough with the power of the dark side. Basically because the Force is changing. The Force is not what it was. The Force is different now. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to say that there is some real power in the Force. And we saw that. And you see that.
Yeah, I think this focuses
you
more...
see that the last 25 minutes of the movie.
Like you're saying, it focuses more on, the Force itself, not necessarily how dark
There's
is
no
the dark or how
light
light
side.
is the light. Yeah.
It's basically the Force.
It's showing you just how powerful the Force is. However you decide to use it is up to you, but that the Force is very powerful, more powerful than we've seen in any other movie.
Yep. Here I have Bisque Lamart says 8 out of 10 for me. Brilliant film. Could have done with being darker and dropping Finn's mission thing. So
again, that's kind of what we talked about, and it's hard to get into without details.
Right, without details.
But I think there are little scenes that you could consider throwaways. But if you really go see it a second time, and you'll see that even the throwaway scenes had their purpose to a certain point.
Okay, so CN805. Let's see what I can read out of this one. It says, I rate the movie 5 out of 10. I felt like Disney again. I'm not sure what you mean by that because this is not a Disney film. This is not, you don't see the Disney logo or the Disney opening at all. You don't see Disney, period. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is Lucasfilm. This is not Disney. A lot of failed opportunities. It was copied a lot of Empire Strikes Back on certain characters and a lot of failed opportunities. The mentions of these characters are said here. Story-wise, I felt the movie was all the type, and given us a trailer to a movie that was hyped are not up to the expectation. The movie dragged a lot in the battle, and you know what I'm talking about, not spoiler, and comedy that was some point pushy and annoying. Didn't explore planets, only 2, and the whole scene with Leia was bullshit, basically, and you know it. I don't know what to tell you on that one. I mean, I do not... When you guys say it had Empire Strikes Back on certain characters or copied a lot of Empire, let me know in the comments down below. What do you mean by it copied a lot of Empire? I have watched Empire so many fucking times. I did not see so much of Empire in the movie. As a matter of fact, I saw more of little tidbits of Return of the Jedi than Empire. So yeah, let me know down below because I'm completely confused.
Other than seeing some AT-ATs in a snowy type environment, I don't really see a big comparison to Empire. I really don't. And
seeing the new First Order ATST.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
So AWQ1983 says I thought it was awesome. Malden W says it's funny I'm seeing a split of people with either love it alike myself and these who absolutely hate it. There are very few in between people. I loved it. I was captivated beginning to end. If I had one complaint, I think that they force some comic relief into it. In the past, Han Solo did add something comic relief, but it fit well in his character. Was sarcastic. In this film, I don't think it was needed. I have noticed comic relief being added to movies that should be more dramatic, like the last Thor movie. I have no issues with comic relief when it fits in this movie. It wasn't a lot, but the movie didn't need it.
I think a little levity never hurts.
Yeah, I didn't find it super pushy.
Yeah, no.
I didn't find it super pushy. That I could live without it, I can.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it pushy. French Bird, FRNCHBRD, says awful. The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever, and Kathleen Kennedy needs to be fired and force choked.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
Well, if you hated it that much, then forget about watching Star Wars.
Yeah. Because she ain't getting fired anytime soon.
No, she's not. And she is Lucasfilm. So
she's the new Papa George.
If you had such a problem with the movies, then don't watch the next film. I mean, that's what I can say. If you have that much hate to put what you put, then don't watch Star Wars, so you don't have to feel that way.
Yeah, she's the one running the show, and it's not going to change anytime soon.
Tales from the Dark Side says car crash.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, then again, it's your opinion.
Everyone can have an opinion.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is. LA Max 60 says, I honestly rate this one. It's just one step above the prequels, but not by much. This is something like the prequels. Nothing like that, but it was just saying. Was happened said, not bad, just not real good either. I'm not sure if this is another language. Well, basically here, Nikita says 8 out of 10. Or Garibaldo says awesome, it has to be different. And here we have Gogo Empire who says it was awesome and it was better than the second time. For people who say they didn't like it, the way Luke is in this movie, I'm not sure why. This is an awesome version of Luke. He was real. Not a superhero like Obi-Wan or the Jedi in the prequels.
Yep.
He was what I would have expected to be after all this time.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah. You gotta really follow the progression of this character and the shit that he's been through. You know, to understand why he's where he's at and the choices that he makes. Like, he's not just gonna be, this. And I don't want to give away spoilers, but he says it in the freaking movie. Like, you know, he's not the superhero that people thought he was.
He was.
Not in those same words, but he basically says something along those lines.
He basically was not the legend.
Yeah, he's not the legend. He wasn't comfortable being the legend that they made him out to be.
Right. And you have to see the progression of Luke. You have to, if you are confused on this movie because of Luke, of his direction in this movie, go back and rewatch the original trilogy and then watch the movie again and understand his character, his progression as his character. It's fitting. And
then to that, add the whole mix of, you know, where they touched on it in The Force Awakens, and they touch on it more here, but like his whole thing with Ben Solo and all that, is you understand why he's where he's at.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough.
Yeah, Luke is
Luke has been
Luke is in a dark place.
And I mean, there was a moment in Return of the Jedi where it was very possible that he was very in between the dark and the light. And you know, this is something that carry on with you, basically. You know, you're a Jedi, but you're not a pure person. You're not pure. You're not pure. You have weaknesses. You have fears because it's normal. I mean, the Jedis are basically no attachments and no feelings whatsoever. You just, something happens, let it go. Move on with your life. You get me? There was like no type of attachments. And at the same time, it's very hard to do that.
Yep.
You get me? And you have your internal conflicts. We see it in the Clone Wars where Yoda faces his own darkness. So there's no such thing as a pure Jedi with pure intentions of good and light.
Even in the Clone Wars, Kenobi goes through similar things too.
It's a challenge. It's very hard.
They're still men and women. They're still,
it's like
not
saying,
to say humans, but they're still just
Let's put it
people.
this way. It's like a priest who are restricted. And they have to be, a certain way and do things a certain way and not think about certain things and sins and whatnot.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're still a man.
At the end of the day, you're still a human. You have internal conflicts. You are not perfect. You cannot just be like, oh, you know what? I'm pure light. Yeah. Because you're not.
And I think that's one of the things that people maybe didn't like so much about this movie with Luke, especially. But it's one of the things that they humanized him. It really humanizes him, where he does have this conflict inside of him, and it's not just because, I was this great, powerful Jedi, I should have all my shit together, and I should have no. It's, you still have that internal conflict, and you still go through shit, and it's going to affect you, and it's going to change the way you perceive things.
And not only that, and when you look at Luke's story, Luke went through a lot of things in his life where it led him to where he's at right now.
And on the flip side, the dark side, I mean, it's happened too. It's happened with Vader, that he got redeemed at the end. He still had some light at the end, and and that's been the running theme with Kylo, whether he could or cannot be too.
Right.
Like that. So if the dark side, there could always be hope for light to come through. There's still possible light inside those evil dark people like Vader or even Kylo. Then why can't the flip side be true too?
Right.
And it's not to say that that these Jedis are gonna have evil in them, but that they could have moments of weakness and moments of doubt, and of just you think of doing something that I probably shouldn't do that.
Yep.
It's gonna go through your head. It humanizes the character a lot more.
So yeah. Sean Hafer says he loved it. I laughed, I cried, and I gasped. That's basically what we all did.
Yep.
What we all did. And I think overall the film delivered what it was supposed to deliver. It took us in a different direction.
Yep.
It's a new Star Wars.
And it just set up so much of Star Wars for years to come.
For the future, yeah.
It gives us new Star Wars, which is what we need.
It's the new generation of Star Wars. You can't be expecting to be reliving the original stuff because it's not going to happen.
Like we were talking about earlier, it's 100 years from now, Star Wars, if it's still around, I'm pretty sure it will be, it's still gonna, at the core, the Skywalker family is still gonna be there. Vader, the Emperor, all these things, because they're a big part of still the storylines. But it can't revolve around these characters forever. And it can't revolve around the storyline forever. Because then, it is going to get boring after a while. There has to be evolution. And I think that's what Rian Johnson did. He definitely opened up that door for these movies and the Force and everything to just evolve into something that I think is going in an incredible direction.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see what this man
incredible.
does in that next trilogy. I mean, the next movie for sure excitement, but I'm really excited to see what he does with that next trilogy and where it goes.
What time it takes place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't doubt Ryan's vision. I don't. I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because I had someone tell me yesterday, oh, you are so blinded by Star Wars that even if the movie is shit, you're going to say that it was good. No, because I have a lot of issues with a lot of things in Star Wars. I have sat there and criticized certain things about the Jedis, about the Siths, about the prequels. I have sat there and be like, what the fuck? All of this could have been prevented. Like, the Jedis were eating shit. There's so much shit so many loopholes and little gaps here and there.
Which ironically, and it's not a spoiler, I'm not going to say too much, but that's even brought up in this movie by Luke.
Yes.
About how if the Jedi Order was so good, why didn't they see this and this and this coming and this and this and
right? And it's what's under their noses.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have sat there and I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Really? So
the
I'm
Jedi
not blinded by Star Wars. I don't buy every Star Wars toy just because it's Star Wars. I am selective. But I'm selective. I'm selective in what I like to waste my money on. I'm not going to just waste my money because, oh, look, it's Star Wars, I'm going to buy it. I mean, no. I get the things that I want. If I did not like a certain movie, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Like, look, my least favorite of all the movies is The Phantom Menace. Even though I love Darth Maul. But my least favorite movie was The Phantom Menace. And yes, it's a prequel, but it was my least favorite movie. I think the second and the third were better than the first one.
They were.
And when it comes to the original trilogy, I mean, I like them all, but I prefer Empire and Return of the Jedi. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, guess what? I love Star Wars, and
Yeah,
I watch all the movies.
No, it doesn't mean you have to sit here and say, because those were your two favorite, New Hope was a piece of shit. Or,
Right.
Or this and that. No, you can
movies.
You can nitpick in certain things that you don't like, and when we're down the line do a more spoiler-esque review, we'll touch on certain things that maybe, there were certain little things that, maybe they weren't necessary or this or that, or, I didn't like this 100%, but overall, I was very happy.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy with the turnout. You have to have an open mind.
Yep.
You have to disconnect yourself from the Star Wars you know. This is a new Star Wars. This is not what you knew. You have to come with a mind open and drop your theories.
And not to say that I don't think the heart of Star Wars is still there.
The heart of Star Wars is still there.
It's not like, they just did a completely different movie and put Star Wars on it.
You actually feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you actually feel it. The heart of Star Wars is still there. Just that for some people, it was not what they expected. Yeah.
But again, these are the same people that would be complaining if it was what they expected.
But the same way that they complain about The Force Awakens being a remake of A New Hope, now this is a different film, and now they're complaining because this movie is different.
Yeah.
So you cannot please everyone.
Never will.
But what I can say is we're all Star Wars fans at the end of the day, and we have to accept each other's opinions, even if we like it or we don't like it. It's the way it is. We cannot bash someone or answer somebody in a fucked up way because their opinion is different than yours. That's not the way things should be. You get me? We all are individual people with individual feelings and likes and everything. So we are not in each other's brains. We like our own things. So that's why we are individual people.
And if you are going to leave negative comments, which I'm sure we're going to get them, be constructive. Don't say, "Oh, you guys are fucking idiots."
Yeah, be constructive.
And not to say we may not be, but tell us why.
Yeah.
Give us an honest, have a conversation. Give an opinion. Don't just say, "Oh, the movie sucked." Why? We're here we've been taping for over half an hour.
Yeah, don't come saying that we're lame.
Our opinion and why we think this. So if you want to come back, please do. But give an opinion. Back up what you're saying.
Yeah.
If like, oh, you guys are idiots because you like the movie and the movie's a piece of shit. All right, sell me on why. Tell me what did you think was so wrong with the movie, and I'll gladly have a discussion with you because I think that's what we need more of. We need discussions, not just blatantly arguing.
I have never sat here and had because the past couple of days, people all they do is just complain to me about the movie,
bashing.
And I have not sat here and told somebody, oh, you know what, you're an asshole because
because you don't
your
like
opinion
the movie.
is different than mine.
No.
I've never done that. I've never gone to someone's post and called them out, and then not only that, but then insulted them because their opinion was different than mine. I don't do those things. I've never done that, ever. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to probably get hate because of this video. Just make sure that it's constructive hate. Make sure that you explain yourself why. Yeah. Prove your points on why you feel a certain way. Yeah. We have given our points of view on why we enjoyed the movie.
You don't have to agree.
Which to ours is valid reasons. Yeah. And you might have your own. But don't be hateful about it because at the end of the day, it's a movie. Yeah, it's Star Wars and it means a lot to people, but it's a movie. And this should not be... It's really petty to treat others like shit because you didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
And we did. So that makes us... What is it like? Star Wars fans who are blind when we're not, because clearly I'm not.
At the end of the day, we're all fans, guys.
I'm clearly not blind. There are, I when I don't like something, I fucking say it. If there's one thing that I can say that people that know me, I'm fucking blunt as fuck. I am straightforward. I don't give a rat's ass. If I don't like something, I don't fucking like it. Point blank. And I will find everything. I will dissect everything that I didn't like about it, and I will be like, you know what? This is the reason why. But I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you're a bitch because you like the movie and I didn't.
Everyone's valued to an opinion, man, but just back up your opinion.
This is gonna be a really long video, guys. I'm really sorry it's so long. We had a lot to talk about, and I read I read all my comments actually on my Instagram. With that said, this was a fun video.
This was fun.
We gave our full non-spoiler opinion.
And yeah, hopefully we'll stick around and do a couple more soon. And
I'm gonna say to expect a spoiler review, maybe not the first week of January because I'm going to be gone to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go to we're gonna try the VR,
the Star Wars VR,
and we're gonna do Disney. We're gonna be in Pandora and Hollywood Studios and. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be that first weekend of January there. But expect a spoiler review the second week of January.
Yeah, that'll give you... If by then you haven't seen the movie, then I don't know what the hell you're even seeing this video for. But
So expect a spoiler review the second week of January. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Love it or hate it, it's Star Wars at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And yeah. Leave your comments down below. And don't be hateful. Don't be hateful. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. That's not what the Force is about.
It's very true.
That is not what the Force is about. So
even the dark side of the Force, they aren't dicks. They're evil, but they're not dicks to each other.
They're not dicks to each other. They're not dicks to each other. Except for Palpatine.
Oh yeah, Palpatine's a bit of a dick. But anyway.
So with that said, may the Force be with you, for good or bad. And go out, watch the movie, enjoy it.
Yeah. Watch it more than once.
Yes.
I mean, it's worth it. Even if you didn't like it the first time, give it another try.
So yeah,
you may find something that you might actually like in it.
So yeah, go watch it, enjoy it, and Give us your feedback, good or bad. Give us your feedback. So yeah,
We'll be waiting.
may the force be with you.
And also with you.
Oh wait, BB-8.
Oh, yeah.
BB-9E. Where's BB-8?
And yes, alcohol.
Oh yeah, it's beer.
Beer
We're
from
drinking beer
beer
on
from a
straw.
straw. Great idea.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.